What the hell is that?
In 2009, a user named RexyBoy34 uploaded what would be his first and only video. It started as a simple day in the woods with 3 friends, some exploration, a few laughs, the camera rolling the whole time. But the footage captured something that still disturbs viewers over a decade later. At first, everything was normal. The friends strolled through the quiet forest, joking and chatting. Then, only minutes in, something odd occurred. Filming from behind, Rexy suddenly noticed a figure lurking between 2 of his friends. He shouted for them to turn around. Whatever it was vanished without making a sound.
What the hell is that?
Everyone shrugged it off as nerves. But later they reviewed the footage, and there it was. A figure standing motionless behind the trees, then gone in an instant. Shaken but determined, they pressed on. A few minutes later, the camera caught it again. Another figure, barely visible, peering out from behind a thick tree trunk. This time, the group didn't hesitate. They screamed in pure panic and bolted. The video cuts off as they flee.
Behind you. I'm being serious, there was something there. There was. I'm not, there was something there.
That was the last anyone ever heard from RexyBoy34. No second video, no updates. His account has stayed silent since that single upload in 2009. It's as if he vanished into the same forest he filmed. What was that figure? A person? A ghost? Or something far stranger? Many have tried enhancing frames, tracing the forest location, searching for clues, but no solid answers ever emerged. Just more questions. And one video that refuses to fade from memory. Sometimes the scariest hauntings aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones that leave only silence. James Fodder thought he'd found a lucky bargain when he bought an antique doll from a second-hand shop. It looked delicate, valuable, perhaps even rare. So he brought it home, but instead of good luck, he found fear. Almost immediately, odd things began happening. Strange noises, doors slowly creaking open, the uneasy sense of being watched. Certain the doll was involved, James set up a motion-activated camera in an empty room, hoping to catch something on tape. Initially, the camera detected minor movements around the room, nothing alarming, but a few nights later, while James was away from home, the camera captured something terrifying. At first, there was silence. Then the camera began slowly pivoting across the room, as if following something invisible. Yet no figure appeared. No movement. Just eerie, silent tracking. 2 nights after that, everything changed. James still wasn't home, but the camera stayed rolling. Suddenly, the footage shows a dark, featureless shape darting from his bathroom across the floor and disappearing without a trace. It moved fast, formless, vanishing before it could be clearly identified. James was speechless. His only online comment was a simple, "Wow." But the worst was yet to come. One night, the camera kept filming. A tiny shadow shot across the room from behind the doll. Some thought it might be a mouse. Others claimed it was a spirit or an unknown entity. Some even confessed to having similar experiences with vintage dolls. Then, while James was asleep upstairs, the doll itself moved. Not dramatically, but just slightly. Its body shifted, posture adjusting subtly before going still again. That faint, almost invisible motion was more chilling than any jump scare. James posted the clip online asking viewers for help. Some called it fake. Others, especially those who've owned antique dolls, believed every second of it. In one clip, you can visibly see the doll tilt forward as if peering into the camera, then lean back again. Shaken by it all, James tried filming from a different angle to see if it would happen again. One commenter summed up the unsettling humor of ghost stories best. "I always wondered if ghosts peek around corners just to mess with humans. Maybe the doll wasn't only watching. Maybe it was toying with him." In September of the same year, a video surfaced briefly online before vanishing without explanation. It disappeared just days after it was uploaded. No one knew if it was taken down from fear or for a darker reason. For a short time, it resurfaced, just long enough to leave behind one haunting mystery. The footage shows a security guard on a routine patrol inside a private building in Colombia. Surveillance cameras record him calmly walking down a hallway until he suddenly pauses and waves at someone unseen.
A night guard was patrolling the area alone, and he swears he was talking to an old lady. Luisel Alvarez uploaded a video taken from a security camera where a man can be seen waving to someone in the dark. He sees someone we can't see. He goes over to open the door for what he would later describe as a lost old lady.
At first, it seems mundane, as if someone simply wandered into the building. But as the video continues, it becomes deeply unsettling. No one else appears on camera, yet the guard behaves as if he's talking to a real person. He smiles, nods, gestures as though responding to someone only he can see. When questioned later, he described a confused elderly woman asking for directions. Yet the cameras show absolutely no trace of her. The tension spikes when his radio crackles to life. A co-worker urgently tells him, "There's no one else in the building tonight except you." The shock hits him hard. Still talking to the invisible woman, he waits for the elevator. That's when things spiral. He flees the building in panic. Some viewers believe his face shows sheer terror. He frantically slams the elevator buttons, but the doors are too slow. Survival instinct takes over. He spins and races for the stairs. That was the last time anyone saw him that night. Whether he quit, transferred, or refused to return, no one knows for certain. The video has since vanished from its original source. No names, no new details remain. Only fragments of disturbing footage circulate online. Was it simply a moment of confusion or a brush with the supernatural? If the video is authentic, it's more than unsettling. It's a reminder that sometimes the most chilling encounters are the ones you never see coming. Who was the old woman? And why could only he see her? On the cold night of February 12th, 2011, deep in the snowy stillness of Michigan, two friends were outside, casually shooting hoops on an icy surface. What started as a regular evening quickly spiraled into something they'd never forget. As told by the uploader, Saka 101A, a piercing scream suddenly echoed through the air from about 500 yards away. At first, the pair froze in place. Then the sound drew closer, moving in with alarming speed. Terrified, they dashed back inside, locking every door, shutting off lights and letting the camera record. What appeared on video afterwards still chills those who watch it. A scream, long, low and inhuman, ripped through the dark. The footage shakes violently, filmed through a window, but the sound is unmistakable. Something was out there.
Now that caps off a crazy adventure.
Ben,
Did you?
out your window.
He's coming in the house.
The following day, they ventured back outside. There in the snow near the window lay enormous footprints, far too large to belong to any familiar animal. They were wide, deep, circling the house. Then they noticed deep claw marks on the home's siding. Nothing seemed tall enough to reach that high. There was no logical explanation. Speculation exploded online. Some insisted it was fake. Others whispered about the Dogman, a creature from legend, part canine, part human, said to roam the Midwest. A 911 call from an unrelated incident a few days later only stoked the flames. A driver reported that an upright dog-like figure darted across the road, causing them to crash into a ditch.
Dog-like creature peeked its nose out. Now I'm gonna see what it would have to stand on how tall it would have to be. Well, this is my height. There's the window. There's nothing it could have stood on. You know, that's weird, there's scratches on there. Well, anyways, it could have had a couple legs like this on these steps. But it would have to be about a foot taller than me in order for its head to peek out. Stating that the dog man would be, believe it or not, 7 foot.
One viewer joked, "The real mystery is why he wore those terrible sandals in the snow." Another quipped, "The only thing that scared me was your scream." Yet beneath the humor, the fear lingered. Was it a trick, a prank, or something genuinely sinister? No one has definite answers, but that eerie scream left an impression on everyone who heard it. Many cryptids are dismissed as mere folklore, but when something circles your house at night, scratches your walls, and peers through your window, does it even matter if it's real or not? You'll still run. YouTuber Hoopla22 thought it was another harmless prank. His friend Derek had a habit of sneaking into his house for laughs, so when his dog Nala started barking furiously one night, he assumed it was just Derek messing around again. What he didn't expect was to capture one of the most disturbing home encounters ever recorded on camera. According to the video's description, Hoopla was in the bathroom when Nala began growling non-stop. Curious and irritated, he grabbed his camera, hoping to catch Derek in the act. But what he filmed was anything but a joke. Nala was cowering in a corner, trembling. Hoopla called her name repeatedly, but she wouldn't move. Then a loud bang came from the kitchen. Hoopla lunged to grab Nala, but as they were about to leave, the bedroom door slammed shut by itself. Nala kept trembling, refusing to budge. Hoopla's voice shifted from annoyance to fear. He tried to comfort her, but she was paralyzed with terror. Eventually, he coaxed her out, but he didn't stay to investigate. He fled the house and didn't come back for days. Since that incident, he's been living with his parents.
Nala, where'd you go, princess? Nala?
He finally finds Nala hiding, shaking and unresponsive. More sounds echo from the kitchen. As he's trying to leave with Nala, the bedroom door slams again.
Nala, we're leaving, let's go!
Hoopla explains that Nala was traumatized for days, but eventually calmed down. Still, he says she hasn't been quite the same. He's convinced they witnessed something paranormal, something never meant to be seen. Could it have been a haunting, or just an elaborate coincidence? One viewer summed up the feelings of many. "I'll be praying for this man and his dog after this terrifying encounter." And honestly, after watching it, you probably will too. In March 2025, a tranquil evening on a hotel balcony in Bangkok transformed into viral terror. Security cameras captured a couple relaxing in a rooftop pool with the glowing city skyline behind them. The scene felt calm, peaceful, completely normal. Then something shifted. At first, it was barely noticeable, a tiny ripple. But soon, the water began surging, not from wind, but with a powerful, unnatural force. The man near the pool stiffened, growing tense. He glanced around anxiously, sensing danger. Moments later, an invisible wave swept across the pool, slamming into the edge and splashing back with violent energy. The building seemed to vibrate, pulsing like it was alive. Suddenly, realization dawned. This wasn't a prank or a pool malfunction. It was an earthquake. Panic erupted. The couple scrambled out of the water. Other guests ran for safety. The pool thrashed wildly, almost like it was alive. Then the footage ends abruptly. No warning, no aftermath, just black. No official statements followed. No names were released. No reports confirmed injuries. The video appeared anonymously, just a brief window into a moment that might have ended in disaster. Or did. The most chilling part wasn't the earthquake itself. It was how swiftly peace turned into chaos. How fast the world shifted from safe to terrifying. One viewer wrote simply, "Be safe, all of you." It's a small message, but it hits differently after seeing how quickly normal life can shatter. Because sometimes the scariest moments aren't monsters or ghosts. Sometimes it's the real world cracking open beneath your feet. What would you do if the ground began to move under you? No one has been able to connect the clothing left behind to anyone specific, and all we can do now is hope that whoever owned those clothes didn't meet the grim fate that the dark reddish stains suggest. If these stories sent a shiver down your spine, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next terrifying mystery. And tell us in the comments which story haunted you the most tonight. Stay safe and keep your cameras rolling.